Developing tonight in Inglewood, investigators say video recorded on a police officer's body camera helped lead to charges now filed against that officer. Ryan Vecina is accused of tasing a driver, pulling him out of his car, and putting him in a chokehold. He is no longer with the Inglewood Police Department.
That encounter with a 20-year-old driver happened back in October. Your reporter Ashley Portillo joins us now. Ashley, the police chief and the DA did talk about this case today.
Yeah, the chief of police in Inglewood saying what he saw in that video, he said, was very disappointing to see. He also added it puts a strain on the profession of being an officer. He also said the officer did not only violate the department's use of force policy, but also violated Colorado state law. We do want to warn you, though, the video you're about to see can be disturbing.
Taser, I'm gonna tase you.
Less than 2 minutes into the traffic stop, the driver was tased.
Get out! Get on the ground!
The video shows that former officer Ryan Vecina first walked up to the passenger side and asked for the driver's license. The driver didn't speak English well.
I need your license. There's no por qué, licencia.
Vecina walked over to the driver's side, opened it, and then told the driver to get out.
Levántense now. ¿Por qué me trata así? No, we're not gonna play this.
Vecina then radioed that the driver was fighting, which video shows later he wasn't. Vecina then pulled out his taser and fires just a second later.
The driver did not resist, fight, or fail to comply with any lawful order.
Vecina pulled the driver to the ground and then put him in a chokehold. District Attorney Amy Patton said the driver couldn't breathe.
The chokehold lasted approximately 12 seconds. Law enforcement's use of a chokehold is expressly forbidden by Colorado law.
The following day, the victim went to the police station where investigators photographed his neck.
Your neck? I'll check. Let's see. Where?
Water for me, please. Water for me.
Inglewood Police Chief David Jackson added language interpretation services are always available to officers, and a Spanish-speaking officer was on his way.
I just can't help but think that if we would have just taken our time, been a little bit more thoughtful, waited for backup, I think that the incident would have been handled in a much better way.
Now, the original charges against the driver were dismissed. Meanwhile, the Inglewood Police Department did terminate Vecina last month. He's also currently facing 3 charges. That does include 2 misdemeanors, Karen, as well as 1 felony here.
All right, Ashley, thank you.
Trail and Bill reporting live from South Florida, guys. We got a little bit chilly weather down here, man, but it's South Florida, so it is turning into the warmth that we're used to here on this beautiful Tuesday, right before lunchtime. Shout out to you if you watch my videos for the longest. You just got here. I've just been here a small while. Hey, man, I think, I read through some of Colorado's laws about traffic stops, and even though the language is set up to allow Johnnies to get away with any damn thing they want to, I got to shout out this DA and this chief, man. And if I remember correctly, this isn't the first time I've covered a story out of Colorado involving the Johnnies, which is the only thing I do on this channel, where they handled it in a way that would protect and benefit the American citizens. I also think maybe, I'm not remembering well here, but if I'm correct, Colorado is one of the few states, if not the only, that doesn't have qualified immunity for officers. I should have looked this up, but the chief and the DA, man, the DA, that young lady didn't seem like she was playing no damn games. She looked like she took her oath seriously in this situation. Now, I don't know her, don't know how she handles other situations. I'm specifically talking about this, and she did not like that outlawed illegal chokehold at all. And she told us 12 seconds of it when it's against the law, period, in our state. You did it for 12 seconds, your ass going to jail. And that's exactly where he went. And the chief, to quote him directly, our officers are expected to serve with professionalism, respect, and restraint. The former officer's conduct does not reflect the values of our police department, and we are committed to transparency in addressing any incident that falls short of those expectations, which is what they did in this situation. We did not have an independent civilian recording of this encounter. All of the video evidence that, they got rid of his ass as soon as they found out about it. I don't know how long it took to release to the public, But they got it to the public, they arrested him, and all of it came from the officer's own camera, his body camera and his dash cam, which they had control over as usual. So I just can't look over, you know what I mean, their oath and their mission statement and how they followed both in dealing with this situation. I mean, I have to say, in this incident alone, again, I don't know how they handle other incidents. We need more law enforcement officers like this in our nation, in America, and I would not then have an issue at all with law enforcement walking our streets amongst our loved ones. So shout out again to this DA and this chief. Let's talk about some of the things that we saw on video that we know better than, and why it is one reason I end my videos like I do, suggesting to adults who are free to make their own decisions that you know your rights. It is your responsibility, I think, to teach your children their right to know their rights. Your responsibility as a parent to do that, and then also encourage your loved ones in your circle, family and friends around you, hey, to know their rights and know who these cowards are. The first thing he did, he set up his lie, because this is what they always do and they usually get away with it, because their counterparts and superiors usually back them up. He radioed in to say that the guy was fighting and resisting. Even though the incident was being recorded, and I'm hesitant to believe that he wasn't aware of that, he still did not mind lying on video recording. And if he wasn't aware of that, then he's just incompetent, as most of them are. But he set up his terroristic tactics by calling in to his partners a false 911, a false emergency, saying that he had a civilian that was resisting and fighting. That's what they always do, guys. This is part of me saying know who the fuck they are, because watching this and knowing how vulnerable and helpless this young man was, he wasn't English speaking, which means he probably wasn't as acquainted with police tactics and maybe even life over here. I don't know. I'm not trying to profile him or be any type of racist. I'm just saying, or prejudice. I'm just saying he clearly, if nothing else, as far as the language, wasn't well acquainted with America. So, and that doesn't mean, obviously, that he isn't well acquainted with other aspects of our country. Hell, he could have been born here for all I know. But the officer saw such vulnerability, and I believe that's one reason he took advantage of it. So in that aspect, I think he did profile this young man. He didn't know enough to lock his door, roll his window up. He simply asked the Johnny, why do I have to give you my license? Now, unfortunately, this is where I say the laws are set up to allow them to terrorize. They can pull you over, claim it's a legitimate stop, lie, and then ask you for your documents and not tell you why they're asking. Now, they do need to tell you have a right to know under Colorado law why you're being pulled over and why you're being asked for your documents. But again, the way the language is in the penal codes, they can tell you at any given time. In that instance, you release all liberty to them, whether the stop is lawful or not. The language in the law is set up that they now have control over your entire liberty. So that's unfortunate. But again, shout out to the chief. He said we could have took our time and been patient. I don't think it would have killed this coward Johnny to tell the young man why he was being pulled over. Instead, he resorted to immediate violence. And that's who they are, man. So in this instance, us as Americans, whether you're born here, whether you just got here, whether you're well acquainted and acclimated or not, this goes into us loving the people around us, man. This goes into knowing your rights and encouraging, I don't want to be redundant here, man. What if he'd have had this young man around him to tell him who cops are, to educate him, so when he got in this situation, he knew what he could and couldn't do? Because even though lawfully, as you can see, the charges were dropped lawfully, he didn't do anything wrong. That still doesn't mean that these cops, because the language is set up to protect them and allow them to terrorize, aren't going to do the very things we commonly see them do and saw them do in this video right here. The only difference here, man, the only oxymoron, if you will, was how it was handled afterwards. This was despicable, man, but not uncommon at all. And this is why you yourself need to pay attention to who these cowards are and do your best to inform and educate those around you. Just on a more personal and less mechanical note, man, this really upset me to watch and see. I mean, damn, family, it's a young man. He's not doing anything. I'm old enough that he could be my son. but it could have been my brother, it could have been my dad. It doesn't matter. It could be a stranger like he is. No human being created in God's image should ever be treated that way. And again, unfortunately, this is what these cowards have been empowered to do. And this is how they've been empowered to see us, simply because they take jobs where we fund their livelihood. They think they have the authority to see us as animals. Makes me feel all types of righteous indignation. One more thing I would like to encourage you to remember. You have a right, a human right and an American right to defend yourself against all threats and all unlawfulness, no matter who the perpetrator is or perpetrators are. That was very hard to watch. I'm Trailhand Bill. Enjoy your day. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.